It became incredibly clear how important that network is, as they often share the experience of being the only woman in a work or education setting. And now they have this network of like-minded, talented, and ambitious women.
ITCS Pizzatime Podcast. Cheesy questions and juicy answers for the tech community.
Hi und willkommen zu einer weiteren ITCS Pizzatime Tech Podcast Episode mit Live-Feeling vom ITCS Online 2021 aus Darmstadt. Vorab eine Statistik, die mich persönlich schockiert hat. 95%. Das ist der männliche Anteil in der Blockchain-Industrie. Um diese Zahl eher Richtung 50 zu bewegen, hat das Frankfurt School Blockchain Center das DLT Talents Programm ins Leben gerufen. Damit machen sie Frauen den Einstieg in die Blockchain wesentlich einfacher. Aber mehr dazu natürlich direkt von den Profis, Prof. Dr. Philipp Sandner und Denise Duve. Kleine Info, bevor wir loslegen. Die Keynote wurde auf Englisch gehalten. Also dann, let's go!
Here we go. The next keynote will be held in English. I welcome Philipp and Denise. Professor Philipp Sandner, our old friend, is head of Frankfurt School Blockchain Center and has been a speaker at the ITCS several times. And we have Denise. Denise, welcome. She is the project manager at the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center. Thank you very much for being here, guys. So let's start with a keynote titled, We Are Changing the Game Block by Block. Philipp, the stage is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great honor to present our program DLT Talents, which we have created last year. Yeah, my name is Philipp. I'm working at the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, similarly like Denise, and we are working now on blockchain topics since quite a while. We have founded the Blockchain Center 4 years ago, and since then we are working on blockchain topics basically day by day, primarily on crypto assets, but also on topics such as the digital programmable euro or digital securities and other topics, right? And what we would like to do today is we would like to show you the DLT Talents program, which we have drafted last year. And the key goal of this program is that we would like to bring more female talents into the blockchain space. And we would like to empower women to also get a footprint in the blockchain space. The reason is that blockchain at this point of time is a very male domain. There is probably a share of male people, developers, programming out there with 95% in Germany. It's a little bit better in other European countries and by far better, for example, in Arabic countries or in Asian countries. But over here in Germany, we can unfortunately say that the share of male people, according to the tech intensity and other reasons, is 95%. And we think that this should be changed because blockchain is a very promising technology and should also be used by anybody out there because it's also a career driver. I think that blockchain will be the key technology out there to drive finance, supply chain management, and other topics. It's a technology which will rise from now on for the next 5, 10, maybe 15 years. And I think also that careers can be made in this field, startups can be founded, departments will be existing, companies will be growing, and so on. And I think it's very important that everybody has the chance to be part of this. That's why we have founded the DLT Talents program. It's basically a program which focusing on mentoring of women during an 18-week course to push them a little bit into the blockchain space, to instruct them what blockchain is, to tell them what crypto assets is, and also to make them work a little bit with the technology in some kind of just do it mode. Yeah. So it's not a lecturing course. It's not about sitting there and lecturing the entire day. It's more about interactive assignments, giving assignments to the women, and then 2 weeks later asking them to present what they have found. And we found that this mentoring approach, this coaching approach over 18 weeks per batch is working very nicely. I think we already have done a success story by now. It's a small project, but it's very ambitious and it works extremely well. So right now we have had 2 batches. We are doing this since 1 year. We had close to 600 applicants from the entire world. I would say that 40% of all applicants are coming from German-speaking countries, maybe another 40% from Europe, and the other 20% from all kinds of other regions from the entire world. We have people from Vietnam, Mexico, Canada, USA, all kinds of countries are participating. And we are doing this in some kind of bi-weekly mentoring sessions every second Monday evening, where we are coaching the people with Zoom in a larger session, but also with breakout rooms to get a little bit higher degree of interactiveness. And so far, we are in the process of mentoring and coaching 170 talents, very, very good people. And we can expect, based on our experiences with the first batch, that probably 20 or 25% of those talents which we are coaching should find a job in the blockchain space very, very, very soon. So here we have created a slide to show you what people are thinking about our program. People told us that it's a very unique experience because they also like to being pushed out a little bit out of their comfort zone. People have already become a voice in the community here and there if they really take the chance and basically also create content, writing an article and participating in the community. And I think it's very important to also instruct people and tell them that once they would like to join the blockchain ecosystem, then they have to do this themselves. We can tell them where to get started, but at the end of the day, they have to join the community themselves. They have to do the networking themselves. There is no way that networking and other things can be done by other people except you yourself. And that's what we are trying also to teach. Besides all the content, the topic and the technology, we think it's very important to also tell people how to get into this community, how the community works, what are the rules of the game, and what do you have to do yourself such that it works. And here, before I hand over to Denise, that's one slide showing you how this works. So that's one slide where we are doing such an mentoring session on a Monday evening. So you see here many people participating from all over the world. And we are then also going into multiple breakout rooms for having a higher degree of communication. But we are also doing guest lectures, for example, by very, very good people we invite. And these guest lectures, for example, they are happening in the larger room where then everybody's participating, as you can see here in these Zoom sessions. Yeah, with this, I would like to hand over to Denise, who shows you a little bit more details about the program.
Thank you, Philipp. So Philipp shared the vision and the momentum of DLT Talents, and I'm going to describe our approach now. As Philipp pointed out, we want to create a more equitable future in the DLT industry. And in order to achieve that, we defined 5 areas that we consider most relevant in the blockchain field. And by the end of the program, the participants are equipped for a successful career in their chosen area, or what we call domain. Those are the following 5. It's entrepreneur in a successful startup, technologist ready to work on a blockchain application or token protocol, regulator or lawyer helping to change or apply the rules on which a digital society will be based on in the future, investor helping to shape the future of other startups, or multiplicator or influencer. They will develop to an important node within the ecosystem. So as Philipp said, our approach is to guide the group in structured self-managed learning. So we provide a platform and we select this incredible talent worldwide, and then we guide them in a bootcamp-like manner through first, what is important to learn. Second, we provide access to impressive and achieved women from the blockchain field. And third, we encourage them to embrace this incredible DLT Talents network, the avant-garde in the field. So we encourage them to mingle not just with the DLT Talents team and the mentors, but among themselves and the wider ecosystem, while we are giving them the tools, the reason, and the setting to do that. The just described structured learning guidance is built on a 3 phases approach. And in the first phase, We get the participants up to speed with the basic concept. The second phase is all about getting to know the different domains mentioned earlier. And in the third phase, it's for them to focus on one domain. They will develop a deeper knowledge during that phase and advance from generalists to specialists. So how does that look in practice? As Philipp said before, throughout the phases and sessions, we give the group assignments beforehand, as we want them to participate. We don't want to lecture them. We want them to get hands-on and take on challenges and approach all kinds of topics. And then we meet in the bi-weekly Zoom session we saw before, and there they have the opportunity to present and discuss their work in smaller groups. And in the end of each session, we have always one inspiring keynote from one of our amazing mentors. And the participants have the opportunity to ask questions, profiting from their experience and their knowledge. So we give them not just one great role model, we give them several ones that can accommodate all kinds of individual endeavors. And during the short time we do that program now, it became incredibly clear how crucial and inspiring those role models are. It became incredibly clear how important that network between those DLT talents is, as they often share the experience of being the only woman in a work or education setting. And now they have this network of like-minded, talented, and ambitious women ready to support and engage instantly as a group if an idea is right. So at the next slide, I want to give you a glance of our impressive mentors, all renowned experts in their respective field. And the next slide shows the DLT Talents core team. They all share the vision to create equality for the opportunities of the future and are convinced that a technology can only live up to its potential if it is driven by a diverse group. And with blockchain, now is the ideal time because the technology is still in its infancy and we can drive diversity from the beginning. Thank you.
Well, guys, thank you very much. DLT Talents, I think personally your project is a general huge advantage for women in IT. Well, great start. But how did this great project start?
Yeah, good question. How did our project start? So, I'm working at the Blockchain Center now for a couple of years, and there I have met multiple people. One of the very inspiring persons I met is Michael Spitz. He worked at that time at the Commerzbank, and we then sat down and thought, we should do something because we met at various conferences, and if you go through the conference agenda, you always see male people. So we said, let's try to do something there. And at the same time, Denise started to work with us, and then we sat together and said, let's try to simply do it. And we did plan a very, very slim schedule such that it can easily be operated. And then we simply did good marketing. People applied and we got going. So as always, you just have to do it. We did good planning, of course, but we also just did it. And therefore, I think it's already now a success story for the project itself, but also for the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, who basically operates the project.
Oh, great. Perfect. How did the resonance to the program differ from what you thought going in? That would be very interesting.
Well, I myself have done a hell lot of lecturing. I have advised dozens of people with their master thesis. So I think it's quite interesting to have both modes experienced. First, that's the lecturing mode. We know from university, you have the professor standing there, and typically you have a group of 40 students just listening. And then they are getting, of course, bored at some point of time because they are not engaged somehow. It's often not very interactive. And when people write a master thesis, for example, then you can easily see that it's some kind of coaching mode. You tell them, think about this, do this, have you thought about this, read that, and so on. And this then allows people to reflect on it. Then you give them 1-2 weeks and then they come back and you see how gradually over the course of, say, a couple of months, the knowledge of the person increases because the person is really doing something and not just listening. And therefore, actually, I think our expectation was that it should work, right? That this kind of mentoring solution should work. But what did surprise us, and I think Denise would agree here, was that it really worked so well, especially during Corona times. With Corona, everybody is suddenly stuck and doesn't do anything anymore. Everybody's waiting until Corona is over. And we simply said, well, it's also a chance because we can now do mentoring sessions with 100 people, one at the same time, with breakout rooms and all kinds of things, with people sitting somewhere on the world. And this really surprised us positively that it worked so well. And what also surprised us, that people really did the assignments which we gave to them. They worked on them. They invested, at least in parts, a hell lot of time. And that people then also quickly found a job in the blockchain space as an internship for an, part-time freelancer task or whatever. This also surprised us very well. But as always, you have the entire distribution of people. You have some people who you cannot motivate. They are then dropping out of the program very early. But when the program runs for a couple of months, then after 50% of the program being over, then you see that the rest who then remains in this group, that's the high potentials, whereas the non-high potentials, they have dropped out very early. I hope I can be so honest, but you see the high potentials, they are staying in the program, and the others who are very difficult to motivate, who don't have time, who don't want to invest, and who also don't want to understand the technology, they are simply dropping out very early, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, of course. You got approximately 500 applications, right?
Exactly, 500 applications in 2 batches. So I think we can also increase this. So we will do another batch probably in autumn, and the marketing works extremely well. So nice. I would think that we then have another 500 applications. Yeah. So then by end of this year, we would have 1,000 applications of blockchain talent with the female gender. We really have to emphasize this because people say there are no people in the blockchain space who are female. And that's simply not true. You just have to somehow find them and empower them. But to be honest, Denise is the much better person to ask here because she's also working in this space and she's also basically inspired very much by this technology.
I just, to add on what Philipp said, I think in the beginning of the program, we asked, in our first call for application, we asked for 12 outstanding women. And then we got 220 amazing women wanting to take part. And that was just a call for application via LinkedIn. So it was not a big marketing campaign or anything. It was just a social media post. And this worldwide amazing, outstanding women just applied and wanted to take part and all got crazy about taking part. So I think then we decided not to take 12. So we can't turn down that potential. No way. We need to take in more. So we started with 50 instead of 12. And I think, as Philipp said, being a woman, I think, and what I said before, it's really finding those other women who want to do and want to learn about this technology and think that technology is just amazing. And now you've got this network and you found that group and you can do stuff together, which is it was just missing before, I think.
Oh, well, that's a great start. I mean, you have on the one hand all the applications, and you as DLT Talents, you need, of course, some support, and you need companies who support you. What would you need from a company that wants to support your mission?
Yes, that's a great question. I think what we are looking for is, for one, we want to get really high profile expertise. So companies who have done really interesting things, state-of-the-art blockchain applications, stuff like that. But on the other hand, we obviously want to provide that program free of charge. The applicants don't pay for that program, and we really want to keep it that way, because that way everybody has access, independent from their current situation. And therefore, we are also open for sponsorships as well.
Well, we like as ITCS, we like this program. We like you guys, and we wish you continued success with your program, with your project. And thank you for your time, guys. And take care. And well, back to you, Matthias, in the studio. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Es ist doch gut zu sehen, dass das Programm auch mit großem Interesse angenommen wird und ich bin schon gespannt, welche anderen Industrien sich daran ein Beispiel nehmen. Ebenso beispielhaft ist natürlich unsere Zuhörerschaft. Und daher kommt doch nächste Woche wieder vorbei. Wir liefern jeden Sonntag eine neue Episode. Bye!
ITCS Pizzatime Podcast.